Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. I'd forgotten that we left right in the middle of this weird mating game, so, Maria wants to mate, so let's let her do that, I suppose. Who wants to mate first? That's the first thing you want to do. Not food, not water, not shelter. You want to mate. Well, we're all here, might as well do it. No harm, right? No benefit either, at least nothing immediate. Everett wasn't bothering with the discussion and was instead tapping away at his tablet. Well, while you decide on that, I'm going to be looking for food, water, and shelter. Good luck. Well, his loss. If it'll get you stopped talking about it, I might as well just do it. Excellent choice. So we just touched tablets, right? Maria and Richard held out their tablets and connected them for just a moment. After a moment, their tablets pinged, and they went to inspect them. Alright, then that takes care of that. Alright, and now Devon, it's your turn. Sure thing, who am I pairing up with? I'm not going to waste my time with this, so you two can have fun. I'm not going to take care of things. Gonna go and take care of things. Richard swayed slightly as he began to walk off, almost as if he were tipsy. You alright, Richard? I'm fine, I just feel a little exhausted. I'll manage. That's a little weird. Should we check up on him? Nah, I think he'll be okay. Anyway, let's do this. Mating time. Let's do it. We both enthusiastically touched tablets. Neato. Well, I guess we're mates. Not even sure what it'll do, but it's probably a good thing, right? I guess we'll find out later. Cool, well, I'm gonna go and look for some food and stuff. Wanna tag along? You're inviting me? Sure, it's easier to find stuff when we're paired up than alone, right? Wouldn't we technically cover more ground if we separate? Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, wanna come along anyway? The offer is tempting. It's not like this is a game where we have to compete for our lives, right? We can work together, at least for a while. Plus, Maria's nice, fun, and seems friendly. But going alone would be more efficient, and it might be better for me to find resources on my own. Nah, it's definitely better to go in groups for this, at least at the start. Sure, why not? Maybe we can help one another out. That's the spirit. We'll find enough food in no time. This place can't be that big after all. Well, it is a forest, Maria. It's probably huge. You think the bell would make an actual huge forest just for us? Maybe. Well, I guess we'll see, won't we? Maria and I walked through the forest together, jumping over fallen tree trunks and digging through brushes for food. Hey Maria, we should probably take a moment to see what's on our tablets. Alright, our traits and stuff. Yeah, let's see what that's all about. We took a moment to sit down and see what information was on our tablets. I tapped on my screen, first on the Devosaur title. Devosaur, the large slow creature, peacefully grazes on fruits, vegetables and roots. Its large stomach is capable of holding food for storage for consumption later. It has evolved powerful gut flora, capable of breaking down most plant matter and toxins, allowing it a wide range of diet. Its slow metabolism, however, causes it to sleep through most of the day, and it must take care to get enough food when it can so it doesn't starve later. Provides 7 meat if eaten. Meat? What the heck's that about? That's a very strange description. Okay, on to the herbivore part. Though that should be self-explanatory. Herbivore, this creature can sustain itself on fruits, vegetables, nuts, leaves and other such plant matter. Cannot digest meat. In other words, I'm betting Maria's going to be a carnivore then. Alright, that checks out. So, now let's get on to traits. Iron Gut. Iron Gut allows the creature to drink water and eat food that is toxic, rotten, or otherwise contaminated. I don't want to eat rotten food if I can help it, but I guess if I get desperate it'll come in handy. Heavy Sleeper. Heavy Sleeper causes the creature to sleep through the quarter of the next day when they rest. Nothing short of a serious attack will wake them. If they're awoken from their heavy sleep early, they will feel extremely lethargic and have difficulty moving throughout the day unless they rest again. What? This is just a penalty. I'm going to miss out on a quarter of the day when I go to sleep. Even if I get someone to wake me up, I won't be at my best. Alright, I need this last one to be good then. Fat Storage. Fat storage allows the creature to store extra food for the next day. They can store up to half the maximum needed for the next day. This one seems pretty handy actually. I can basically get a head start on the next day by eating extra. Now that I think about it, the strategy for me should be to get as much food as possible since I can store extra for the next day. Balances out how I have to sleep in, and because of Iron Gut, I can basically eat whatever, as long as it's a plant, right? This kind of matches the description of the Devosaur, I suppose. Kind of interesting how it feels like an actual strategy a real animal would use to survive in the wild. Alright, I read up on my traits and stuff. I think I got a bit of a strategy of my own in mind. Just read all of mine. I'm a Maraptor. Like a Maria Raptor? That's my guess. I'm an omnivore, and my 3 traits are early bird. I wake up a quarter of the day early. Fast metabolism. Food amounts are halved because I burn through the energy so fast. Cuddlebug. I can't rest properly unless there's someone else with me, but when I do rest, I get to add half of my partner's food count to my own. That's a strange set of traits. I guess the idea is I either have to get up early to get more food, or I find someone who's eaten a lot and then partner with them. Like a roommate that eats all the food out of your fridge at night. Well, we're perfect partners then, aren't we? That sounds like a terrible roommate. Yeah, but I don't think I steal food. Just sort of like get half of what you have. It should always be 5, right? Since you always need 10 to be able to survive. Well, actually, I told Maria about my traits and how I was able to store extra food. I see, so since you hold extra food, in theory if I were to rest with you, I could get what, 7 food? Then I'd only need 3 food and I'd be set. Don't try and make me do all the work. I won't. Anyway, let's get looking for something to eat. Well, let's see what we can find. Also, how much time do we have? Maria checked her tablet for a second. Looks like we get about an hour. An hour to find food, water, and a place to sleep? Doesn't seem like a lot. Well, let's not dawdle then. Actually, there's a tree right here that looks like it got some fruit on it up ahead. Let's see. We walked up toward the tree and there was a wooden sign right in front of it. Starby fruit. A sweet yet tart fruit that is full of nutrients, fills 3 hunger. Looks like it'll be a good start if you ask me. Yeah, there's just one problem. Those fruits are way up high and we don't have any way to get them. Well, we gotta start thinking like the animals that we are. Well, according to my tablet, a Devosaur is a large, slow animal that grazes peacefully. Sloths are slow, they can get up trees. Maria, I'm telling you now that I cannot climb trees. And I guess that leaves it up to me. I'll toss them down for you to catch, alright? You sure that you're okay climbing up that? It looks really high. I've climbed rock walls, I'm sure I'll be fine. Okay, just be careful. Maria looked around the tree and began to straddle up the tree, inching her way up bit by bit until she got to the branches. I was surprised by how easily she was able to lift herself up, but eventually she stood up on one of the branches. See, told you I could do it. Just be careful not to fall down. You've still got a ways to go to get the actual fruit. Not too far up now. It's a lot easier that there are branches to hold onto. She kept climbing up into the canopy of the tree and I could barely see her. Maria, are you still up there? Yep, heads up by the way, fruit are coming down. I didn't get much of a chance to react as an orange and star-shaped fruit pelted me in the forehead. Ow, watch where you're throwing those things. Sorry, I can't really see all that well through the leaves and branches. Just a few more. I watched carefully as more and more fruits began to fall from the sky. I tried my best to catch a few, but it was better to just let them fall to the ground. They didn't seem to splatter after all. Alright, that ought to be enough, right? I guess, I mean, there's a few fruit down here, so it should be enough. Alright, I'm on my way down. After a few seconds, I saw Maria slowly climbing back down the tree. See, I told you everything would be. Just by speaking, she jinxed herself as her footing slipped while she was making her way down. Shit! Don't worry, I attempted to catch her in the fall, but it was a really haphazard attempt. Sure, I caught her in my arms, but she came down so quick and fast it was more like she cratered into me, and we both fell to the ground. Ow. Yikes. Guess I had to be more careful. You alright, Devon? Peachy. It's not like a mass of pure muscle didn't just crash into me. You're flattering me, I ain't pure muscle. I've got a bit of fat just like anyone else. Alright, that made you landing on me all the more pleasant. Well, let me help you up. She pulled me back up to my feet and then dusted herself off. No injuries? Everything feels good? Paced around a bit to make sure nothing was broken, bruised or otherwise harmed. No, I think I'm good. Great, then let's eat. Maria tossed me a few fruits and began to bite into hers. Kinda tastes like a mix between mango and pineapple. Yeah, it's sweet but tart. I kinda love it though. Lucky us. Guess you found a perfect food to get us energized. Huh, speaking of, as we ate I looked over my tablet to check my status. Food, 3 out of 10. Looks like we got our fill. My tablet says that I've got 3 out of 10. Well, I only got 1.5, which is the pain of having a fast metabolism. Guess that means we shouldn't linger too long. What a shame. I really liked eating those. Maybe this would make a good drink. Or if you chopped it up, you could put it in a fruit salad. You get a good sense of taste, huh? Must come with being a cook. Well, I like to think I'm decent when it comes to making food and drinks. One of my few redeeming qualities. Oh, don't talk like that. I'm sure you got lots of great things going for you. For starters, you're super cute. Thanks. If only having a cute face was enough to survive off of. I'm not exactly model material. I'm sure you could find a way. If you wanted to be a model, all you have to do is show the world just how beautiful and sexy you can be. And I think you could pull it off for sure. I felt myself getting hot and squeamish over all of Maria's compliments. That's real nice of you to say. First time anyone's ever said something like that about me. Really? Not even Clyde? The guy's either super bashful or he's super blind. Well, I just don't think he's interested in me like that. You think so? I shrugged. Dunno really. It's sometimes hard to get an idea about what he's thinking. Sometimes he's really sarcastic and funny. Other times he seems so lost in thought, it's like he's on another planet. And then sometimes he gets real quiet, like he wants to say something but can't find the words to say it. It's kind of sad to see him when he's like that though. Wish I could do something to help him out. Well, does he have issues or something? Not sure if I'd call them issues, he just gets down on himself sometimes. He's not where he wants to be in life right now, and I think he considers himself a failure. Sounds to me like he could use a pick-me-up, alright? Yeah, honestly, he's a good guy. He can be friendly and funny when he's not in a sour mood. I just wish there was something that I could do to help him. You're a good friend, you know that? Here you are in a death game, worrying about the mental health of your friend when your own life is on the line. Well, like, no need to get bashful about it. Clyde's lucky to have someone like you on his side. Sometimes it felt the other way around, that I was lucky to have him around. I think I see more food up ahead. Let's get a move on. We walked further out toward the opening in the forest, toward a large meadow. There was a large field of berry bushes. If this wasn't enough for us to fill ourselves on, I didn't know what would count. I don't know what would count. Oh heck yeah, we ought to be able to get everything we need from here, right? It sure looks like it. We walked over towards some of the berry bushes, and as we did, we saw a few chickens strutting about the bushes, pecking at the various berries. There are chickens here too. This is one weird place. But I'm not complaining, I love chicken. Maria went up to grab one of the chickens, but it just began to run away. So you're gonna make this a chase, huh? Alright, I'm game. Why are you bothering to chase a chicken? It's not like you can eat it without preparing and cooking it. And you can't do that in less than an hour, I can tell you that much. I guess you wouldn't know since you're a herbivore. My tablet says that any animals I catch automatically turn into food for me. Really? Yep, must be one of the perks being able to eat meat. I can just grab one of these chickens and it'll count toward my food total. Do you know how much? Maria squinted at the chickens as they continued to walk around. If you look a little closely at the birds, you can see an imprint on them that looks like a number. I think it's a 4. Well, that would go a ways to getting you fed. Yep. That plus these berries and I should be good to go. So, Maria began to chase around some of the wild chickens while I simply began to pick some of the berries from the bushes nearby. Most of the berries seemed to be harmless. A handful would only give me about 1 food's worth, but a variety of berry bushes nearby mean I was able to get quite a number of them. I eventually gathered a small collection of them and piled them up to eat. It made for a good snack while watching Maria struggle to catch just one of those darn chickens. You stupid birds, can you just... She dove after one of the chickens and it leaped just out of her reach. Damn it! Keep trying, you almost got that one. Ah, you try catching one of these damn birds. I'm a herbivore, so I don't have to. But if you gotta challenge me, how can I say no? I picked up a handful of berries and held them out toward the nearest chicken, which seemed to cautiously walk over to me before taking a few pecks at my hand to eat some of the berries. I carefully pulled my arm closer to my chest until the bird walked closer to me. And once it was there, I grabbed it with both hands. Ha! Got it. What? You're telling me all I had to do was bait it? It's a lot easier than catching them, isn't it? Just as I was explaining myself, the chicken I was holding poofed away into a cloud of blue smoke. And in my hands is a box of fried chicken. Did that chicken just turn into fast food? I guess. Mel's really got to give us warning when she's going to do weird magical transformations. But who am I to complain? Maria grabbed the box out of my hands and began to chow down. How's it taste? Bland. Guess Belle's still got a way to go to try and make decent magic food. You want to try one? She held out a drumstick for me. Can I? Maria shrugged. Can't hurt, can it? Probably not. I took the drumstick out of her hand and bit into it. And a horrid taste filled my mouth as if biting into bloody sludge. It didn't taste like chicken at all. Ugh, that's disgusting. Is it? Yeah, it tasted horrible. I don't think I've ever had anything that bad. Maybe you really can't eat meat then. Sorry about that. Oh well, more for me. I tried to get the taste out of my mouth by eating the berries that I'd collected, and I immediately felt relief as the various tastes overpowered whatever was there before. So what kind of berries are these? A variety, just some nonsense names. Glamberries, pepper bell, seed bombs, glitter flesh. It doesn't sound all that good, to be honest. They taste alright though, so I think they're safe to eat. They don't offer much in terms of food content though. Altogether I think they're worth about 7 food, so it'll be enough to fill me up. Alright then, I think I'll help myself to some. She began to eat some of the berries that I piled up. This game's a cakewalk, there's plenty of food around. I only get half from the chicken, so that means I get 2, and then half from 7, that's 3.5, which would put me at 7 food I think. Which is more than enough if I get to cuddle with you at the end of the night. Yeah, I'm sure you're looking forward to that, huh? Why, is it wrong to want to cuddle with a cute girl? No, and the feeling's mutual. See, look at you being such a charmer. Patoo. She suddenly spat out a few berries and held her stomach. Oh, one of these didn't taste right. Really? They tasted fine to me. Began to taste a few of them. Most of them are pretty sweet. This green one's a bit bitter, but otherwise it's okay. Maria cautiously bit into one of the green berries and recoiled as she spat it out. Yeah, that's the one that doesn't taste right. Now I don't feel that good. I looked carefully at the berry and went back to the bushes to check if I'd missed some detail while I was idly picking them. Let's see, pepper bellberry, slightly bitter berries with a sweet aftertaste. Contains a toxic element which will cause death if not diluted with heavy water intake. Shit, how did I not see this before? So it's poisonous? Shit, I'm sorry Maria, I didn't mean to get you poisoned. It's alright, you said you'd have to dilute it with water, right? We need to get some water anyway, so this will be a nice motivator for us. Right. Even though she said that, I couldn't help but feel guilty that I'd haphazardly gotten her sick. We stood up and started looking around for some source of water. As we walked, I could hear the sound of coursing water nearby. Look, there's a river down there. Perfect, all we have to do is find a way to get down there. Ugh. Maria clutched her stomach again. This is some fast-acting poison. It hasn't even been that long and my gut's killing me. And he spat it out. That's alright, we'll make it. Just have to find a way to get down there. Looking for water? We turned our heads to see Everett resting near one of the trees, idly biting into what looked like a hunk of meat. Everett, great timing. Do you know a safe way to get down to the river? Yes, you should be able to find a slope if you go down that way. It'll lead toward a large lake where the river empties out to. Plenty of food down there if you need it. Fish and fruit, depending on your needs. That's great. All we need is water for now. I see. Well, in that case, you know where to go. Oh, and if I may ask... No time, we gotta go. Sorry, Everett. I see. Well, I suppose I'll see you around later. I didn't bother giving a response as Maria and I rushed down toward the water. Did Everett eat Richard? I feel like Everett ate Richard. Wait, there's one thing you need to know about the lake. We made it down toward the shore of the lake. The water looked beautiful, more importantly, clean. We're almost there, Maria. Great, that's... Maria held a hand over her mouth and coughed before she fell down to her knees. Shit, don't worry, Maria. We're right there. I tried to carry Maria over toward the edge of the water, pulling her toward the shallow end so we could dip her head down toward the water if she needed to. Here, drink up. Maria carefully lowered her head into the water, slurping up some water from the lake. It felt weird, primal, to not drink from a cup or even from our hands. Being desperate made you ignore these kinds of things, especially when you were dying of poison. As Maria drank, I carefully looked around and got a better bearing on her surroundings. The area around the lake looked strange. And there were a few areas on the ground that had dents and grooves, as though someone or something had dragged them along, or slid on them. They were all over the place, some leading toward other parts of the lake, and others seemingly stopping, right in the area that we were in. It was cool, pleasant, and while the water was mostly clear, there were a few weeds that obscured the view of the water. Every so often I would see little minnows and other fish darting around. This is probably the best place for smaller fish to hide from bigger predators. I turned to check on Maria. Maria, how are you feeling? Judging by how she was now cupping the water in her hands and breathing a bit more steadily, I would assume that the water treatment had been working. She simply nodded her head and gave me a thumbs up as she kept drinking more and more water. Oh, now that things weren't as urgent, I could probably take a moment to drink some water myself. I could probably start looking for a place to rest. After all, we know where water is. We still need to find some kind of shelter. What was more important was... well, we got water, right? We should probably... Well, I mean, she's... Hang on, what was the history? Oh, we haven't drunk anything. Let's get some water. I might as well get some water while I'm here. Who knows how far the nearest shelter is? I cupped some water in my hands and cautiously drank it. It was clean and refreshing, or at least it tasted that way. I continued to drink the water until I noticed some movement in the water. I stared at the unmoving water, trying to see what it was in the weeds that caught my attention, until it blinked back at me with gold eyes and a wide, ravenous mouth. I should have seen the signs. The spots on the shore, the weedy foliage, Everett's last-minute warning. Of course there'd be a goddamn alligator in the water, but with my body being dragged and torn apart in the water, there wasn't much time for regrets. Death took me and drowned me into a dark, murky oblivion. Bad end, dragged down under. Alright, let's just reload. Find shelter. We knew where the water was, so finding shelter was probably the next best thing. I walked off the shore and looked around to see if there was any place that we might make for a good place to rest. You're not going to get a drink? I'll come back later we need to find shelter first. I checked my tablet to see how much time we had left. A little more than half an hour before the end of the day. We're about halfway through the day. Guess we are, aren't we? Maria looked up toward the sky and pointed toward the sun. The sun's moving pretty fast, soon there won't be much daylight. Got any ideas where we might be able to find shelter? Well, if we're meant to be like animals, maybe we're just going to have to look for a place where animals sleep. Like a cave. Yeah, a cave's probably a good bed, or a burrow, or maybe some hollowed out tree trunk. Guess it'd have to be big enough for us to sleep in though, right? Right, so it should be easy enough to spot. Alright, let's try to find somewhere to rest in about 20 or so minutes, and then you can still double back and get some water before time's up. Sounds good. Let's do it. We started looking around for a place to rest, and soon we found a large cave near one of the rivers. This spot ought to do, don't you think? Looks spacious enough. There's a sign in here. Cave comfortably houses 2 creatures. Check your tablet, see what it says about your home. Check my tablet, and sure enough it had updated. Status, food 10 out of 10, water 0 out of 10, home, cave, mate, Maria. Looks like it updated, and this is my home now. Great, it's not even that far from the river. It's like the perfect location. Yep, well, since we got that taken care of, I guess I'll go and get some water to drink and maybe some extra food as well. Might as well fill up on some extra food before the day ends. I'll stay here and make things extra homey. Alright, you go and do that, I'll be back soon. I left the cave and walked over toward the lake, helping myself to enough water until I had all I needed to survive. With all that, I should be able to continue on to the next day. Now just to find some extra food. I walked around the shore of the lake for a bit to see if I could find something tasty. Eventually I found these large teal fruits that look similar to melons. Hydromelon. This water-packed fruit is extremely filling and full of nutrients, fills 5 hunger. Well, that's awfully convenient now, isn't it? I plucked the heavy fruit off the vine and bit into it. Tasted similar to a nectarine, but a lot messier, and the teal, goopy drippings were hard to wipe off my hands. Of course, I was able to wash my hands in the nearby water and make my way back toward the cave. But on the way there, I saw Everett passing by. He spotted me and waved with a pleasant smile. Greetings, Devon. I take it you got enough to drink by now? Yep, more than enough to eat and sleep for the day. I was about to head over to my home now, actually. Maria and I are sharing a place. I found a place to rest in. That's good. It'd be terrible to die on a full belly, just because you couldn't find somewhere safe to sleep. Did you find somewhere to rest? I did. It's not exactly comfortable, but there's an underground burrow that I was able to nestle myself into. He dusted off a bit of dirt and gravel from his shoulders as he spoke. I can't imagine you fitting in some small hovel in the ground. To be fair, it's not quite as bad as it sounds. It's roomy enough for one person, and considering my size, I don't think it would do well to share anyway. And it could be worse. I could be like Richard and have nestled myself into a tree trunk. What? Hard to believe, isn't it? But I found the man sleeping inside a hollowed out tree. Almost like a snake in a log. That's strange. Why is he even sleeping at a time like this? Doesn't he need to get food and water like the rest of us? I can't say. When I tried to wake him up, he barely even moved. Perhaps he already got enough and was just sleeping early. Maybe. But he was acting a little weird earlier in the day. I see. Well, hopefully he'll be fine. Anyway, I'll catch up with you later. I have to get back to my little hovel and prepare for tomorrow. Right, I'll see you around, Everett. Until next time. I checked my tablet to see how much time was left in the day. About less than 10 minutes, which was more than enough time to be able to get back to the cave. Even the sun was starting to set. I wasted no more time and made it back over toward the cave where Maria had made a makeshift bed for us. Just some leaves, weeds, and other plant matter that would be better cushioning. Welcome back, honey. Well, that's quite a warm welcome. Would you prefer something cold and harsh? Nah, this is fine. I walked over toward the bed and flopped down, feeling a wave of fatigue overcome me. It hasn't even been an hour and I feel exhausted. It can't be normal, right? Probably not, but we're in a weird god realm. Maria laughed as she laid down beside me and smiled. Almost feels like we're not fighting for our lives, doesn't it? Almost. Didn't help that you had to remind me. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up something scary like that. It's just, I want you to be safe, you know? Safe? You want me to be safe? That must seem a little strange to hear from a stranger, huh? Well, I won't lie, it does sound a little weird. Especially since supposedly only one of us can survive this whole thing. Right. Well, even if that's the case, I don't want you to suffer through this, and I don't want anyone to take advantage of you. I bet there will be times when you'll be scared, desperate, and despair-ridden. Looking for hope and any promise that someone will make to you. Just be real careful about that, okay? Some people here, they don't have your best interest in heart, no matter what they say. You say you're talking from personal experience. Sad to say that I am. All these people involved with the Digits of Eden, they're nothing but manipulative crooks. They promise you all these great things, that they can fix your life, give you everything you could ever want. They never tell you the cost of it. It's absolute devotion and subordination. Well, they do have a big cult vibe. Sharp eye, and that's because they are. Well, I guess I was right to be wary of them. You are, and I'm just telling you this because there's no guarantee I'll be there to warn you if they try to make a move on you. As much as I'd like to stick by your side a whole way through this, I've got my own goals and a wish that I need to fulfill too. But I'd feel like shit if I didn't at least give you a parting warning, you know? Alright, that's fair. What exactly should I watch out for? Well, I already said to be careful of the Digits of Eden people. That'd be Everett, Teresa, Kishi, and Zeph. Really? All 4 of them are involved with the Digits of Eden? To varying degrees. Grant was at some point too, but I think he left. You don't have to worry about him. I'd say Zeph is probably the least problematic out of the 4 of them. He's probably just in it because his girlfriend's here. Not sure about Teresa. Don't think she's directly involved, but she's working with Everett all the same, so she's still dangerous. It's Everett and Kishi I'd watch out for. Kishi, but she seems so chill. She probably is, but all the same, you should watch out for her words. She'll probably try to lure you into the Digits of Eden with outlandish promises. I mean, you two are probably around the same age. If I had to guess, she's famous. She's pretty. She's charismatic. If she sold you on the Digits of Eden, you'd be more than willing to listen to her, don't you think? When you put it that way, you make it sound like she's super influential. She is a rock star. She's got sway and influence over a lot of people. And let's be honest with ourselves, she didn't become famous simply because she was good, but because she has connections. Just be careful around her. That's all I'd say. Now, really, the person you should watch out for most is Everett. The guy's had years of practice in convincing people that everything he says is the truth. He knows how to influence others when he wants to. He's a smooth talker and he knows just the right words to say to get you on the good side. I couldn't deny Everett did have a way with words that made him seem approachable. Even with his burly and intimidating stature, he never seemed hard to talk to, or that scary. Still, it wouldn't hurt to exercise some caution. You know, I get that they're definitely weird and creepy cult that pulled me and my friend into this death game. That alone would be enough to say that I don't like them. But it sounds to me like despite this, they still try and, recruit me to their cause or something? Maria nodded her head slowly and yawned. That's exactly it. They prey on desperate people. When you feel low, helpless, terrified, that's when they'll offer you the world. If and when that happens, don't take it. Okay, thanks for the warning, but how are they going to offer me anything if they're going to be dead? I mean, think about it. Only one of us can survive this whole thing. Anything they can promise me sounds kind of pointless. And how do you know all about them anyway? Were you tricked by them or something? I want to believe you, Maria. Really, I do. You sound like you only want what's best for me, but I'm just so confused about all this. Really, all I care about is finding some way for Clyde and I to survive all this. That's fair. It pays to be skeptical. I tell you what, I'll fill you in on as much as I can. Next time, seeing as my eyes are getting so heavy I can barely keep them open anymore. Yeah. Exhaustion seems to take a firm hold of us as our eyes slowly closed and we drifted off into a heavy sleep. My eyes fluttered open slightly, but I felt an extreme chill across my body. Oh, why is it so cold all of a sudden? I sat up from my bed and looked around. Maria was gone, and I looked out the cave and I could feel the cold wind blowing. I looked around and noticed that my tablet was glowing. I picked it up and inspected it. The first thing I noticed was that I only had around 45 minutes to take care of all my needs, probably due to my heavy sleeper trait, which would probably explain why Maria had gone. No point waiting for me to wake up after all. Next, I checked up on my status. Devriasaur, herbivore, traits, iron gut, light sleeper, generous. These weren't my traits last time. I pressed on the traits to see exactly what the new ones were. Devriasaur. The gentle creature evolved from the ancient Devosaur. Frequent mating with the Maroraptor caused the species to develop a more gentle and generous lifestyle in exchange for their fat storage capabilities. In addition, to help watch against various predators, the Devriasaur became more sensitive to sounds while sleeping. Provides 5 meat when eaten. Okay, so I'm kind of generous, gentle creature now. I click on the other traits to see what was going on. Light sleeper. When resting, the creature will awaken when another creature enters their home. Doesn't that imply someone be entering my home when they're resting? Is that even possible? Well, whatever. It's better than losing a quarter of the day. Now for the other one. Generous. This creature can share food that they've eaten with other creatures, subtracting it from their own total. To share food, simply touch tablets with another creature, select the generous trait, and hold for as many seconds as much food as you want to share. I guess this is nice if I want to share foods with others, but isn't it just a downgrade from the one I had before? Being able to store extra food was useful. Speaking of, I checked the other parts of my status. Status, food, 5 out of 10. Water, 0 out of 10. Home, cave, mate, none. Looks like I still got all the food from my fat storage, so I guess the new trait only takes effect from the start of the new day. Well, it worked out, which means it's time to get going and find food and water. Should be easy enough at least, right? I walked out of the cave, but I wasn't prepared for what I saw. There's snow? No wonder it's so fucking cold. I went from a forest to a frozen wasteland. I shivered and pulled my hoodie up. Well, at least water won't be an issue. Now how the heck am I supposed to find food? Well, I guess there's nothing to do but start searching. I started my search by seeing if there were any fruit trees or berry bushes nearby, and unfortunately for me there weren't any, at least none that I could see. Even the old locations that certainly had berries and fruit were all gone, or maybe they simply died in this cold climate. If that was the case, then where was I going to get my food? Luckily, I didn't have to wander long to find a solution. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. But we have survived day 1. I think we got 2 more days to go. If it says mate none, so I guess Maria's left us. We're all alone now. Oh well, I think we'll manage. Anyway, thanks for watching first, and I'll see you in the next one.